Hey everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Wild and the Whites podcast. Well,
Here we
welcome
are.
back. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, last time
Been
I was
busy.
was right here. Yeah, spent the last month moving and vacationing. I've been
All over the place.
border to border.
Yeah.
Went to Mexico for a week and then was in Canada for a weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sounds lovely.
yeah, it was good. It was the work-life balance got a little whacked out, so I had to rebalance the scale.
Yeah. Go a little hard towards
Yeah.
the life part.
Yep,
That's good.
And no, it was very good. It was definitely what I needed and brought me back to center. And work's been good now.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Today might have helped a little bit too.
I was nervous about today.
Okay.
That was
Do tell.
well, it was just a long shift yesterday, and I knew you and Tyler were pretty excited about going out today. May 1st.
We don't get excited.
No, no, I couldn't tell. So it was just one of those. I wasn't expecting much from today. Again, it was first time out.
Mhm.
Let's just be patient. Let's learn. It's one of those situations where you hear stories. You're always listening to old timers tell the tales, so you know kind of what to do ish.
Mhm.
You have an idea. But this morning, it's 8:00. Nobody else I work with really hunts, and nobody else is really cued into what's happening today.
Right.
It's 8:03. I still need to give report. Nobody's sitting down. I'm like, all right, I'm leaving. Here's what happened. Yesterday, today, here's what you need to know. And I just gave a report and I was like, see you later, guys. I gotta go, and peaced out. And you sent me that message and I was like, Zach, I'm sorry. I need something to drink. I got a Red Bull and there was just a line. Everything was just conspiring against me to make me late.
Yeah.
And you and Tyler to be sitting there going, where the heck is he? Where is he? What's going on?
Hey, you showed up.
I said I would. I usually do.
Right.
Rarely on time, but I'll be there.
Rarely on time.
But yeah, it was just crazy. And of course, I'm driving like an asshole. Coming up slow.
Mhm.
Oh my God, slow. What are you doing? Drive. Drive. Okay, you've got your blinker on. When are you turning? Okay, there it is. All right. I catch up to the net, and I'm like, come on! Everything was just conspiring against me. I take the right onto the road, steep hill,
Yep.
and I'm flying. Not crazy, but I'm going quicker than I probably should have been. And then all of a sudden, I get to the crest of the hill, it levels out, and I'm like, freaking turkeys, man. All over the place. You see them constantly. You're more likely to hit them with your truck than with a gun, right? So I kind of just chuckled about it and take the right onto the service road. Boom, boom, boom. Come in, see you guys. Hey, well, we're waiting. And I get out. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? You're like, I got pants for you. I'm like, cool. So I start putting on some camo pants and I'm like, yeah, sorry guys, I almost hit a turkey back there, threw me off a little bit, and you guys, the two of you were just like, what? I'm like, yeah, just turkey, didn't, nothing.
Right there. Right there.
That driveway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like.
So you mean listening to us right now?
Yeah.
Probably could hear us pretty well.
And it was at it wasn't that moment where the two of you looked at each other and just said, he's messing with us.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything. It was just the look on your face that I realized, I'm here for turkeys, not deer. Oh, no. Yeah, no, I'm being dead serious, guys. There's a turkey right there. Decent beard, I don't know, a few inches.
Right. And well, you're like, I'm like, did it have a beard? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's when Tyler and I looked at each other like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, it's right here.
Is he joking? And it was like, I still didn't quite grasp the
seriousness of this.
And it was funny to watch you just kind of go, look at Tyler, look at me, put the call in your mouth and went, and the two of you were like,
he's right there.
Let's go, grab me. Here you go. All right, go. Come on. Yep, okay, yep. And the two of you were just like off. And I'm like following behind you, trying to pull my pants up. I'm still trying to buckle my belt. I'm like, what's going on, guys? Why are we running?
Yeah. I had already walked you through, there's not one in the chamber, everything like that. You're like, okay, well, tell me when to rack around. So then we're just running up there, and eventually I hand you the gun. I'm just like, there's already a round in it.
It's racked. We're good.
It's on safe. Just point it in a safe direction, okay?
Basic gun safety. Yep. Okay. Let's go. And
so we start getting up and away from the road. We probably ended up, that first spot was probably a little over 100 yards from the road.
From the trucks? Or
from the road.
Road, yeah.
Yeah. Probably about 70 yards from the truck.
Yeah. Because I remember the big thing was, all right, we can't go here or there because the trucks are there.
Right, we don't want to shoot at the trucks.
That's where the turkey is.
Right.
So let's go more that way.
Right.
We found a spot, made a couple of calls, and he was chatty.
He was.
He was ready to have a conversation.
He was. So we got to that first spot, but something happened before everything else at that first spot. You turn to me and you go, so this is gonna be a minute, right? And I'm like, it could be, it could not. We could sit here for an hour, we could be here for 10 seconds. I don't know.
Understanding the complexity of time. Time is, it doesn't matter.
He's roughly 120 yards from us right now. He can cover that distance in 10 seconds. He can cover that distance in 2 hours. I don't know.
Right. My problem is that I went from work to here without the bathroom. And I was like, if I'm going to sit here for the next 2 hours, I need to pee now. And I remember looking at you and be like, can I do a bathroom break? And the look on your face was, what are you, 12?
But then I thought in the back of my head, I'm like, my exact words last night were, look, just bring your license and your boots. I'll get you camo, get you your gun, everything like that. Tyler and I are going to treat this like a youth hunt. And that's exactly what it was. Especially at that point. It's like, okay, he's got to pee. So we're going to just let him go pee.
You guys did a little video
at that point I look at Tyler, I'm like, while we're here, we might as well film the intro that we haven't gotten to do yet since we just ran away from the trucks.
But it was well worth it because it wound up being another hour and a half of calling with him.
At least I would say,
because we probably ran up there because I got
maybe an hour 45.
I got to the trucks just after 8:30.
And you shot at 10.
At 10, yeah. 10.
So it was probably, it was less than, so it was probably a little over an hour. Felt a lot longer than that.
Yep, time does
slow
act a little strange when you're chasing turkeys.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, we sat down at that first spot and
do some calling.
It was wild because again, first time interacting with a wild turkey, and you're just kind of listening to it gobble. And then all of a sudden, it's over here.
Yep.
And then it doesn't sound like it's moving. It's just staying in here.
Yep.
And then you're like, oh no, it's up there.
Yep.
Oh, all right, let's.
And the problem then is I didn't even put this in your head because I didn't want to. But I'm like, is there more than one bird? Because is that one still there and just not talking right this second? And is that so?
Because we wound up talking about that a little bit because we wound up getting up and moving.
Yes.
To try and get ahead of it. And we sat, which I think was a better spot.
Yeah.
Anyway, because there was a lot of blowdown at that first spot.
That first spot was just he might be coming right here, right now. Right. We just need to get down.
And he was. I think it was just that patience kind of helped.
Yeah.
But we got to that second spot, and that's when you were like, just understand that he may be gobbling to us, but he may have a bunch of hens with him. And it just kind of clicked in my mind, this guy's PIMP, right? He's just like strutting his stuff. He's got his ladies. He may not come to us. He's trying to call us in.
Correct.
To go to him. And I'm like, oh, this could be a day. Like, this could be not great.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I heard Tyler get like that little giggle in his voice. And he's like, he's coming in.
Yeah.
And like he was able to like register that it was just a little bit closer, because there was a while where he was what felt like just to my like 12:30, 1 o'clock, and he wasn't moving.
No, it didn't seem like that. Or at least if he was, the terrain we were on was really steep.
Yeah.
So if he was strutting and spinning, he could have been facing away. Yeah. The terrain could have just been echoing in a way that we couldn't hear it. But Tyler kept saying, like, I think he's coming closer. He's just coming really slow. So, and Tyler, for whatever reason, could hear it better than I could.
I think it was just he was up a little bit higher than
he was. He was up probably, I mean, honestly, he probably had a good 6 to 8 feet of height on us.
On top of that, he wasn't like crouched down like we were. He was kneeling.
He was up. Yeah.
But like looking back and thinking about the blowdown that we saw at the first spot, and thinking about the blowdown that was between the road, the trail, and us, like that does make sense that it was taking him a while to go around trees and over trees.
Yeah.
But then when we heard that the hen call, and I was like, the hell do we do? He's already got a lady. And it was just that very subtle and I looked at you and you're like, that wasn't me. That was there's another one with him.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of that realization of, oh, this is like legit. Like we're gonna fight for this. We need to get him to not want her. We need to sound sexy.
Yep. Got a sweet talk.
Yeah.
Little bedroom manner.
Yeah.
Like I said, you
hello, sailor.
Lay out all the nice china. Yeah. A little red wine, some candles, put on some music, dim the lights.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
Yep, that's. You just gotta figure out what that means to a turkey,
right?
And how to say that to him.
There's one point where you were like slow dragging. And I was like, ooh.
Doing my little, people call that a purr.
And it was just funny because then all of a sudden you did that and it was silence.
Right.
It was silence for an awkward amount of time because I'm starting to get like the itch. Right. I'm like, I got to get up and move. This is boring.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was that boom right there. And Tara was like, holy shit.
I was literally turned around and telling Tom, I'm like, we were kind of making a game plan of like, all right, like 15 minutes more, maybe call again real quick. And like, we're in the middle of talking, we hear pow right off the wall. I'm literally like, holy shit, he's right here. So I kind of like slowly moved, get my mask back up.
And it was a solid gobble.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh man. And right after that was that rumble in my chest that I was like,
yep.
Is there a plane going, like a train, plane, automobile?
Right.
What's going by?
You just hear that.
I can feel it in my chest. Aliens?
Right? Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go today. Like, it was just kind of wild. And then all of a sudden...
I've talked about that before, right? I think with you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you, like that...
You could talk about it. You have to experience it.
You have to experience a spit drum. Like, you have to, because, like, people say that they hear it. And there is a noise to it, don't get me wrong, but it's so much more of a feeling in your chest. And when they're that close, and it's just a reverberation that you can feel.
The part that creeped me out was that there was borderline no sound.
No.
Like, if you listened carefully, you could hear it, but it reminded me of solid bass.
Yeah.
Like, you go to, like, a concert and you've got that house music playing or whatever, and you've got that bass, but you're deaf.
Sure.
And you
that's
just
a great
have
way
this,
to put
like,
it.
Rumble, but you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
And you're just like, is that a heart attack? But it was at that moment that I saw the flash of red. Yeah. And I was like, do you see that? And you're like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's when you started coaching, like, get your gun up.
Yep.
Very slowly. Okay.
I tried to, like, just not repeat myself over and over again.
Pull a Tyler.
Yeah. You see him?
Do you see him? Do you see him?
Okay. Right on his
Did
head.
you hear
right
him?
there? Yep. Right there. Okay. Yep.
It's his thing.
When you're ready, pull the trigger. Come on.
Well, I remember, like, safety off. And you're
Yep.
like, good.
I saw you do that, and I was like, "Good job getting your safety off." Okay,
It was
because
just,
I also wanted. I was like, he did that like muscle memory, and I'm like, I want him to remember that he just did that. That was actually in my head. Is I'm like, I hope that was a conscious thing, but in case it wasn't, I want to say that to him. Good job getting your safety off.
because
right?
there was so many small, like, evergreen saplings between me and the turkey. And I knew that if you went to the left, I had 3 solid openings for shooting lanes with, like, nothing in between us.
Right.
If you went to the right, I had 1, maybe 2.
Yes.
And I was like, right now is not it. But it might have to be. So let me be ready.
Yep.
And it was that click. Good.
Yep.
Okay, next step. Get the gun up. And I remember pulling it up and going.
The other thing too is, I don't know if you remember this, but you had your legs crossed. So you're like, fuck. I'm like, okay, get that gun over to the right side. He's coming up that way. So you had to, like, uncross your legs and, like, move and all. Like, there's a lot of slow motions that people don't realize that you have to do.
Because it was very much, I'm hoping because I can't see him. He's looking this way. And I'm like, go to the left. Go to the left.
Yeah, I know, me too.
And then he turned, and I saw him take a few steps to the right and then disappear. And I was like, oh, he's going to the right. And I remember, I'm set up for this, and he's this.
Yeah, they never go where you want them to.
So I remember I had uncrossed the legs, and I turned on my hip and had my shoulder to the tree. And I remember pulling the shotgun up, and I was like, if I take this shot, there's no place for my shoulder to go because I'm leaning on this tree. I was like, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And I remember just holding the shotgun, and I've got it, right? And I'm just like, it's too heavy. It was really funny. I don't know if you guys could hear each other, but you're like, get that shotgun up. And Tyler would be like, Buckley, shotgun, get it up.
I couldn't hear him at all.
And I'm like, I can't see him. I am ready to shoot. But if I keep this thing up any longer, I'm not going to be able to hold it steady enough to shoot. And get the gun up. No, get the gun up. Buckley, get the gun up. Thanks, Mom. Right? And it goes to the first spot, and that's when I was like, oh, there he is. And it was just body. His head had already passed in front, like, from that first spot. And I know I've got the second one, but I haven't inspected further because I was ready for this. And it was one of those just, okay, I've got it sighted right in the center of there. And I looked to the right, and I was like, that's rock, that's a hill, and just heavy evergreen.
Yep.
And I remember seeing the red out of the, like, as I'm looking there, it was, and I just pulled the trigger, and I was like, that's down.
Yep.
And I just watched him go down. I saw that wing go up. I stood up, and it was the funniest thing because I felt like you were already over me. Like,
I was almost pulling you up with, like, let's go!
Because I wanted to make sure in case I had to take that second shot. And, okay, I'm up, and racked it.
And I also realized that before that, we had even had a little conversation of, like, you know, I flat out told you I was going to tell you, okay, do we run up or do we stay? And I completely failed at that.
You're like, it's
completely failed at that.
Because, yeah, we're waiting. We can hear it's coming. It's very situational, so we'll go over that as it comes up.
Did it? Well, that was me going over it with you.
What?
Yeah, so basically, like, the way that I do it is if I roll them and they're on the ground, I get up and I get on them as quick as possible. And I could have just said that to you, but that wasn't in my brain to say that at that time for whatever reason.
Again, with the podcast, we've been having a lot of fun talking about the the beginning of hunting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the deer, we didn't get to, okay, you've got a deer. We've talked about turkey hunting.
Right.
But we haven't really talked a lot about it. What do you do when you shoot it? Oh boy.
Right.
So it was very much like, and I'm hoping a lot of it got on the mic as we were discussing, because there was a lot of great questions that I felt like I had in the moment that we kind of talked about. So it was definitely like, all right, so when I shoot it, what do we do? Because I've seen videos where they shoot and they go, or they shoot, they wait, they quickly rack around in case it's down, but it gets back up. You want to make sure you've got the sight on it right away. So it was kind of like in those moments of, okay, here it is. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Where are we going? And then in the moment, bang! Out the window, go! on it. And
Yep.
that was a lot further away than I thought it was.
Yep.
Because
It was.
I shot, I had that little opening that maybe a foot between the two trees, like with the branches, and I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna go. Bang! And I remember like knees to chest, getting out there. I'm like, oh my god, where is it?
Yeah.
And then looking, and it's still another 15 feet ahead of me.
Yeah, it was probably a 35, 40-yard shot.
But it was the way it was walking. It just wasn't coming in. It was just going.
It was looking for us, so it was skirting around the area, trying to figure out where we were.
And I in that moment, I wanted to ask. Obviously, we don't want to call in that moment because we want him looking. We don't want his guard to be up. Like, what was that? We want to be quiet, but I was like, man, if there was only something like I could scratch some leaves just to make him be like, ooh,
right,
baby girl's over there.
Yeah, and basically, if he had kept going and like he was going away from us, I probably would have tried something like that without calling, but just doing a leaf scratch or something. But
it was so dry. Every movement we made,
I didn't want to do that because he, up until that point, he was a lot closer. He had moved away when he was out of sight.
Yeah.
So with him right there, I was like, he's gonna do a move and be within. I mean, he was within 20 yards of us, and then he backed out and went up, and just because of the terrain, he had to move around all that thick stuff to get up and around. So that's why he ended up so far away from us. But he was a lot closer and then moved away.
Yeah.
So the moment I saw him, if you weren't able to make a shot and he was moving around, I probably would have waited for him to be like a little bit further away. And if you couldn't get a shot wrapped around further to the right, then almost let him go away a little bit and then call him back in is what I would have done.
Because he was interested, but it was weird because in the beginning he was kind of like, I got my girl.
Right.
I'm good. And then by the time he got to us, he was hot to trot.
Well, it's amazing how they know where you are. Like
we hadn't made a noise in almost 20 minutes.
And he came right to us. We hadn't made a noise, and he was still probably 80 yards away from us the last time we made any noise. And he came right to us.
Yeah. He was directly in front of me.
So then he's like, okay, she moved. Where is she? And he was doing a loop to try to find her. Yeah.
No, it was pretty wild. A lot of fun.
Yeah. So you shot. You get up. You go to run. And I wanted to be right there with you. I couldn't. Something happened while I was sitting down. It was the funniest thing
because all I hear from behind me is two old men going, my knees, my back, my legs, I can't feel my feet. And I'm like, how? I'm the new guy. I'm the one that's not sitting properly. I'm the one that's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Like, I didn't feel like my legs were asleep at all. I didn't have pins and needles until I stood up. And then my legs just did not work at all.
It was the funniest thing because that's all I heard from you and Tyler was just like, God, the grumpy old men behind me just trying to get out of a chair. It just made me laugh.
That first round, I was yelling at you to rack another round in. And then I actually almost fell over. Like, because I'm like, hey, you can... Yeah, rack another round it, and then all of a sudden my legs just don't work, and I almost face plant, and I literally see the empty shell go ping, ping, ping right in front of my face as I'm almost face planting on top of it.
Because there was like 2 or 3 logs that you had to kind of get over.
My legs could not. I had 0 ups, nothing. I barely had forwards. I didn't have ups.
Oh, you had momentum forward,
but my legs were lagging very far behind. So that has to be hilarious on video. We've only seen the tiny little clip on the GoPro so far,
on that SD card. So hopefully that'll be good. Cause we had enough footage rolling for a presidential assassination. So
yeah, I mean we've got all kinds of angles. It should be a good video to see what happens with it all. So yeah, we got it tagged in. Got it back down to the truck.
Yep.
And
went back
after
out.
we took some photos and stuff, obviously, but went back out.
I swear, still to this moment, I heard a gobble further in towards the field as I was heading down to my truck. I forgot stuff. Ever happened to you? Happens to me all the time. Especially when the paper looks the same. So I was heading back down to the truck, and I stopped just to catch my breath because I'm out of shape. And I'm like, whew. And it was getting hot. It was getting warm.
Yeah, it got hot, and it got hot fast.
And I stopped, and I'm just like, whew, that was fun. Because I heard the... I was like, that was something. I was like, interesting. And I went down to the truck, got my stuff, came back. Again, we're like 3 minutes to the truck. Not my deer drag.
No.
2.5 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever it was. And as I was coming back, that's where I heard the... And I was like, am I hearing things because I want to hear another one?
Right.
And I was like, listen, and I was even hesitant to tell you guys because I was like, I gave him a hot lead for the first one. I don't want them getting excited about this one because I'm not even confident. Like I was pretty sure I heard something, but was it what I think it was? I still think it was. But what that wood chipper turned on at one point, and like whatever all those noises. There were so many noises that just started up around 11.
Yeah.
And we wound up hiking in for about 15 minutes.
Yep.
You thought you heard something. We gobbled or called a little bit, and then we're like, let's go back down to the field.
Yep.
And as we were going into the field, off to the right, up the hill, I was like, it was very quick.
Yeah.
I swear I heard another one. I was like, it's up there.
Well, because I heard, we were walking, and I heard it, and so I stopped, and I called, and then right after that, you're like, yeah, I heard that. And I heard it too at that point. So I think there was something up higher. And at that point, it was 11.
Yep.
And so we were like...
just find a good place to sit down.
I looked at Tyler. I was like, we're just going to be aggressive on this, and we're just going to walk at it. And I knew there was a trail we could go in pretty quietly and get close in onto that area and set up and call. And that's what we did, is we just sat up. We found a nice shady spot.
Oh, and the breeze. Oh, that was so nice.
It was actually a really nice spot. It was just sit for an hour.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And we did some calling, and we did a lot of laughing. You did some gobbling.
I did. Tyler's like, here. And like trying to do it without you seeing, and he tosses it to me. I was like, I don't know what this is. And he goes, take the cap off. And I'm like, okay. Still don't know what it is. Like, I'm like, do you squeeze it together? No.
Like an accordion.
And then I'm like holding the wrong end, shaking it, and he's like, but now I know. But, and then
all of a sudden, it was what, like 11:41?
11:41. And what, maybe 20 yards behind us, if that.
We're all talking.
Right.
At this point, we're like, we're done. This is just nice to sit here and chat.
I'm ripping ass.
Yeah.
Like,
And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at you, and your head snaps like you heard, and I'm like, you hear something? And then all of a sudden, Tyler's like, oh shit, there's something walking like right there, and he's
It's
like,
so dry.
it's so
Yeah.
It's like it's worse than fall leaves. It's like fall leaves that are now dead that are just
Have
super
been dead
dry.
all winter, and we haven't had a decent rain in
Yeah.
a few days, and it's been super windy, and everything cracks.
Oh God, it's
Everything
terrible.
Cracks.
Yeah,
And we hear the
yeah.
and I'm like, is that a turkey like strutting around, scraping stuff around,
Right.
rubbing at it, whatever, and
Like it just did not have the cadence of a squirrel, like
No.
or a chipmunk,
like that,
like
the hopping,
Yeah.
nothing.
there wasn't that like bounce to it. It
Yeah.
was like very much, and it sounded heavy,
Yeah,
right? Like we're like, but not like a deer.
No.
It was like a turkey. It sounded just like your turkey walking in.
And-
It sounded just like that.
so like for reference, like I've had turkeys walk through my yard up
Yeah.
on Sugar Run, over in Littleton. I've had turkeys around, so I know what that sounds like. I'm like, that sounds like a big bird walking through leaves,
Right.
just rustling through, trying to flip some leaves, find some stuff.
Yeah. 100% is what it sounded like.
And I look, and I'm looking at Zach and Tyler, and the sound is right over me. And I look, and there's Tyler with his rifle, with the shotgun coming up, and I'm like,
No.
I'm
gonna get
I'm
myself
right
as
here.
small
Please,
as possible.
please shoot over me. and he just looks at me with this confidence. Goes, no, you're good. And I'm like, yeah, I still don't feel that. I don't think so.
He
And
wouldn't have shot at you.
well, I kind of bend this branch down slowly, and I'm looking, and it's getting closer.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I see this like flash of color, and I'm like, oh, it's right. It's right there. But of course, there's evergreens. Like I'm in this little cut.
We haven't said that your back was up against like small white pines.
We've got this huge field in front of us, backed to these white pines that are
Right.
just,
which is a
knee-highs,
phenomenal background if something came out in the field where it was supposed to.
knee to hip high height, and I'm just like underneath. I could see perfectly,
Mhm.
and I see like a sparrow hop up on a log, and I was like, all right, that's not it.
That's not it.
It can't be it. And then I hear it again, and I'm like, it's right behind it, though. And then I see another one
Yeah.
kick more leaves, and then it jumps down, and what I've got is two of these, I don't even know if it's a sparrow, but small birds that are just like on their own right next to each other.
So each one of those birds sounded like an independent turkey foot.
Yes. And I remember turning around and going, nope,
Yeah.
not a turkey. And you're like, huh? Tyler was just like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Oh, that was so disappointing.
It was. And it's not that I didn't believe you. It's just that I really didn't believe that couldn't have been a turkey because it sounded just like it. So I'm like, there's 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
I just got up and
Walked.
I just like walk around. And I'm like, if I got to chase this thing down in 15 minutes, I can do that.
Coming with me. I felt so deflated because I was like, oh my God. It sounded big.
It did. It really, yeah. It had all of us fooled. And so then we walked out, packed up, and drove here to my place.
Yep.
Cut up your turkey. You did good.
Yeah. Only gagged once.
Yep.
Yeah. That wasn't nearly as bad as the deer.
No, because you're not dealing with the guts.
Yeah.
You're just ripping apart meat.
Yep. Got the beard and the tail feathers.
So
It was good.
16 pounds, 16 and a quarter pounds, basically.
Yep.
And which I was surprised. It looked like a bigger bird than that, but it
did.
just
It was-
didn't have the mass.
It was fluffy.
It was, yeah. It just didn't have the body mass, I guess. But that's still a really good bird. And especially it had an 8.5-inch long beard.
Yeah.
So usually when I shoot them and they're that, in that like 16-pound range, they have like more like a 16-inch beard, or sorry, a 6-inch beard.
Mm-hmm.
So to have that much of a longer beard, he's younger, but he probably would have turned into a really nice Tom eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But
sorry,
he'll be eating instead.
Yeah.
But got that cut up. I'm gonna get a fan mount put together.
Yeah.
If you get me whatever you want, or I can send you some options for that.
Yeah.
And
get that going.
Yeah, it was good. Trying to think of what else. Well, I'm roosting some birds tonight.
Yeah. You and Tyler?
Tyler's going to come along.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see if you join us in the morning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We might need you, dude. You seem to be good luck.
I'll be running late, and I'll see you. I'll tell you where it is.
Here's the funny part, right? So there's this big thing that seems to keep on being reminded to all of us that everything happens for a reason. Because you wouldn't have, if you were on time, you might not actually almost hit that bird.
Mm-hmm.
And we wouldn't have freaking known it was there. And we'd have been hiking our asses all the way up that hill where we ended up, and been like, there's nothing gobbling up here. And he would have been down there, right by our trucks the whole time.
Pecking at our tires.
And then we would have been like, okay, it's noon, we're going out. And then he would have been there, waiting for us.
Noon
and it would have been 12:05. Yeah. So everything happens for a reason. You got delayed, and it all came together perfectly.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's weird how that stuff happens. And it was a freaking gorgeous day today, too.
God.
It's going to rain the rest of the weekend.
Which we need.
We do need it. Just not in the mornings when I want to hunt. Yeah, it can rain all afternoon. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to go down to a spot further south in the state to a unit that you can get your second one in. And so you can legally hunt in it with us if you want to come down. But Tyler and I kind of had a plan to just hop, skip, and jump down there right away anyway to try to get ours in a little further of a southern zone, so then we can have the rest of the season up here to hunt up here and take people out and do stuff like that up here. Because it's only day one. We have a whole month.
Yep. Day one, getting it done.
Yeah, man. It's the way to do it.
Because the deer was pretty early on in the season too.
Yeah.
Not crazy early, but
yeah.
I remember thinking, what am I supposed to do the rest of the season?
Gloat.
Yeah, I did plenty of that.
You did. Yeah. Yep. You already started with that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's
you said something on the way out. I can't remember, but it was something along the lines of, "Well, you guys will be hunting up here."
Yeah. Well, you guys were talking about going down to the southern part of the state for that zone, and then you'll be able to come back up here. And I was like,
well, you guys,
you guys can come back up here. I can't.
Yeah, you guys, because I've already filled my tank. So.
If there's one thing I've learned about hunting is half of the enjoyment. The other half is the gloating.
I guess. I mean, if you're a dick.
Guilty. I guess. Yeah, well, light a fire on the rest of your guys' asses to get some shit done.
Yeah, maybe you guys can give a damn kill one,
Doesn't seem that hard to me.
Seriously, all I did was sit there and he came right up.
As it turns out, I don't actually like hunting. You shoot, you get an animal, you're done.
It's easy, it's boring, I'm done.
I want a little bit more of a challenge, I guess.
Tyler, he's like, Buckley's going to be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go out west and shoot an elk now, guys. This isn't that hard.
It's not that hard. What did I just see? Not the hat trick. There's like the Midwest hat trick, or the five crown or something, where it's like you get it's the animals from 5 corners of the state.
Oh.
There's like a New England moose, a Midwest something, a Northwest something, a Southwest something. a southeast something. Anyway, it popped up.
You gonna do it?
Doesn't seem that hard. There's this awesome show that I've been watching called Dropped.
Oh yeah, you've turned me on to that show.
And there's this really cool season where they go to the Yukon, I believe it is, and they've got the Yukon Slam or something like that they call it, and it's like a mountain goat, a deer and a moose or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit of hiking, not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, look at them. They're not even walking that much. They just made it that whole way in like 2 minutes.
12,000 feet up.
Right. Do you know that cut edit was 4 hours of brutal hiking?
Yeah. 7 batteries later. Yeah, no, I joke. I fully understand that, you know, I'm only successful because the people I'm going with support me and have taught me a lot. And even to your guys' credit, you've both, you, Tyler, and Paul, for your hunting season, you know, you're all new to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. I mean, Tyler's got a lot of experience, but even he said that, you know, turkey's not his forte. He's a waterfowl. You know, that's his game. You know, Paul likes the birds as well, and you know, deer's, he likes hunting deer, but that's not his big thing.
Right.
And it's just been a blast to be the person that's able to take all of the knowledge from the three of you and the knowledge that the three of you have learned from your people, and it's like this awesome pyramid scheme where I'm right at the top just sucking in all this information. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm successful because of the people that I'm learning from, and luck. And
it always comes
I'm
down
just a
to
good
luck.
shot. So,
well, you didn't miss, that's for sure. I know that gun, and I'm like, he's like within 10 yards of as far as I would shoot on that gun, but I'm not going to tell him that. I'm going to let him just pull that trigger. And if it just goes clean miss, it goes clean miss. But
just got to believe.
Right. I'm like, the patter's going to be pretty wide that far out, so I feel like he's going to hit it.
It was a lot further than I thought. Like, looking down the barrel, like, I was like, oh, that's not that bad.
Well, like, I was lining up landmarks for you, and, like, if you look at the landmarks I was lining up for you, that was well past those landmarks.
Well, that first spot we sat down, you're like, all right, yes, that tree there, that's like 30 yards. That tree that's like that, you got that one over there.
Yeah.
That's about as far as you want to go.
Yeah.
So I took that distance to the next spot and was like, all right, that tree with the Y,
yeah,
that's about as far as I want to go.
Yeah.
Because that was between 30 and 40. Yeah. And then, so when he came in, and I'm like, all right, he's at like 20.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When he first came in?
When he first showed up.
He was under 20, I think, yeah.
And then he backed down behind the tree with the Y and just kept going out. And I was like, all right, so that's right by the tree with the Y. So that's like 30, 40.
Yeah.
I could take this. Boom. And then I get there, and he is a ways past that tree.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
when you pull that trigger, I was like, sweet. I saw him flop, and I'm like, damn, he hit him really good. And for that far out, I'm like, well, so I had also I've changed ammunition and repatterned my guns, and this ammo is much better. Like, if you were using my ammo I was using last year, I don't think you would have hit it. Or you would have, but I don't think you would have actually like done enough damage, because it would have been such a wide pattern that far out.
Yeah.
This one, I was debating it as to which gun to give you, the one that I was carrying or the one that I ended up giving you, because the one that I gave you has a little bit wider of a pattern. So I'm like, up close, that's going to give him room for error. You know, like it's going to be wider, but further out, it's going to be wider, and it doesn't have that density of pellets. Right. So then I was like, well, if he has to take a far shot, maybe he wants my semi that, you know, has the longer barrel, that's going to stay tighter.
You do have a nice semi. It is nice, but
it worked.
Yeah, and I mean, all things considered, breast meat was good. It was clean. There was no pellets in it.
You hit him like right at the base of the neck and head. So I think like right where I told you to put it, right at where the feathers meet the neck.
Point and click.
It's pretty much right where you hit him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I feel like he turned and faced me a little bit.
okay.
Because it all seemed like it was just right here.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It did. It seemed more front than it. Yeah. That's a good point.
Which, again, I know that when I took the shot, I couldn't get that altitude to get just up and through, and I know that I pulled my leg back, and I want to say that it was enough noise for him to go, "Hey, babe," and just face us. And there it is.
That's the last thing he ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Not a bad way to go out. Thinking you're about to get lucky. But
apparently Tyler got some good footage of it.
Yeah.
We might not, we have to look at the card, but we might not have gotten the actual turkey in the video during the shot. But that's fine. It was thick.
Yeah. It was hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
The only video that would have, I think, truly gotten the shot would have been the barrel cam.
Yeah.
But I forgot to turn it on, so.
No,
it was on.
You didn't.
It was just in standby.
You did. Yeah. We had it on. It went into sleep mode because we were sitting there too long, I guess.
I think it was like 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Because no, it was over 30 because my camera disconnected from my phone at 29 minutes, and it was just after that it got exciting.
Of course. But so, the GoPro was still recording,
yes,
right?
Okay. I believe so.
It just wasn't connected to your phone.
Well, I mean, you got the GoPro of you running. Or
yeah,
was just
that was mine.
No, that was the DJI.
Yeah, that was the DJI. That was mine.
We'll see.
So I don't know if it was still on in my chest rig or not, because I had the GoPro in my chest rig. Your GoPro.
Yeah.
But that's one of these cards?
That's the white one.
Okay. Well, we can pull up my computer and check it out.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious to see. I would like to get. I want to put the GoPro on the barrel. It's gonna be off kilter a little bit, but because it's just not weighted right. But what's nice is that it can hold two of them. So you face one facing the shooter and the other one facing down the barrel, and it's off to the side. The idea being that you don't have the under barrel, you get a little bit of a side shot. But that's next season.
Okay. Or your next turkey this season.
We'll see.
You want to come to Vermont with Tyler and I?
Listen, I got things I gotta take care of.
But
I'll come to Vermont.
You want to come to Vermont?
I won't be hunting. I'll be shooting a different thing. Camera.
Yeah, you can film.
I'll film.
All right.
So, yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, we got a Vermont trip all planned out. Hoping to get some good footage out of that too.
That'd be fun.
But
we'll see.
Yeah, dude. Day one, and we already got a turkey down. Got a turkey down on youth weekend. Got a turkey down day one. Everything's starting out good. So
that's how you get
maybe
wild
this
in the
is
lights.
We're done now.
Yeah.
No, I think we're just beginning.
I think so. We'll see if we can get some friends come on, join us. Get some, especially if things keep going the way they're going.
Yeah, well, if they keep going the way that they're going, we might need to start begging people to come out with us so we can just keep doing things.
Yeah.
That was me last year as I shot all mine, both mine. I didn't do any out-of-state hunting last year. I shot them in the first week. I think it was the third day and the fifth day I shot them. And then I was like, anybody want me to tag along? I just want to go out some more.
I need to practice things. Yeah.
But
cool. No, I'm excited. It's gonna be a good season. As I sit here with my first.
It's gonna be a good season because it already is.
Yeah. So
you're gonna go cook up that turkey tonight?
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Sweet. Well, let me know what you think.
Right on.
Sweet.
Cool.
Anything else?
That's what I got.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
First turkey. Everybody out there, make sure you say congrats to this guy. Made a good shot.
That was a good shot.
I know that I called him in and Tyler filmed it, but ultimately you could have missed. So we could be having a very different podcast right now.
Yeah. I don't like missing when I see my opportunities.
No, I don't blame you.
Clearly.
I never miss. It's like that meme I sent you the other day of like, look, it's summer and I haven't lost weight because I never lose.
I never lose. I've seen 2 animals in 2 different hunting seasons, and I've nailed both of them. I am 100%. I am
2 for 2.
I am the world's greatest hunter.
Right. I've had a 100% increase from one year to the next.
Mm-hmm. It has been stellar.
Yeah.
I am all that is man.
On that note,
yes.
we will see you on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.